What's up YouTube? This is Ginger Scrub from Team R.K.M. and today we are doing a Ancient Gear deck profile for you guys. I've been waiting for this deck for such a long time because I used to play Ancient Gears when I was a kid at about 10, 11 and 12, and then I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And that was the last deck I played until I came back to Yu-Gi-Oh! So we'll get started with the Ancient Gear deck. So we have 3 Reactor Dragons. This is a great card because if you tribute an Ancient Gear monster, it does piercing damage. And then if you tribute a gadget monster, it can make a second attack in a row. So if you have Ancient Gear Town on the field, and then you have your Ancient Gear gadget, you just tribute that off, and then it gets both effects. So there's that. Then I only run the 1 Ancient Gear Golem, just because he's a very good beat stick. He like all Ancient Gear monsters, they can't activate cards until the end of the damage step. Then I run 2 Ancient Gear Hydras. This is mainly more for my rank 7 plays that I have. But it is a nice card because if you tribute an Ancient Gear monster, it gets to banish a monster if it doesn't destroy it. And then if you tribute a gadget monster, then it can attack all the monsters that your opponent controls. And it has the same effect as per all Ancient Gear monsters, that your opponent cannot activate spell, trap, or monster effects until the end of the damage step. Next, I run 3 Ancient Gear Wyverns. Now, this is your main card you really want to, if you don't open up with a Gear Town, a Fortress, or a Catapult, then this is a card you're going to want to open up with. So then you can go, because it's searching an Ancient Gear card. So it's basically a card to open up all your plays. It's also a nice little rank 4, and has the same Ancient Gear effect as all the others. Then I will be running 3 Ancient Gear Gadgets. This is purely for the fact of it's a level 4, it's 500 attack, so it's a machine dupe target. And also it's got the effect of I can declare 1 card type of monster, spell, and trap card, and when an Ancient Gear monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate those cards or effects in the battle phase. And also it can choose its name of either a red gadget, a yellow gadget, a green gadget, silver gadget, or a gold gadget, which is quite fun. Next, I run 2 Ancient Gear Hunting Hound. These guys are essentially your polymerizations for the deck, which is always quite fun. And when you normal summon them, they burn your opponent for an extra 600. And it is very nice because when they use them for a fusion, it does use hand and field. Next, I run the Symphonic Engine, purely for the fact that this deck is very reliant on its normal summoning. So basically, you're going to want to get an extra normal summon that turn so you can get more plays. Then I run the last monster card, which is Max C, purely for the fact of it lets me draw cards when your opponent special summons. Next, I max out Gear Town, purely for the fact that it gives your Ancient Gear monsters 1 less tribute to be tribute summoned, and also it is a target for Catapult. So when it's destroyed, I can special summon an Ancient Gear monster from my hand, deck, or graveyard. Unfortunately, you can't bring out Golem because it doesn't ignore the summoning conditions, but that's perfectly fine. And then I will be running 3 Ancient Gear Catapult. Now, this is a card that you want to open up with. You want to open up with this, Gear Town or Fortress, so that way you can start going into your special summons, and then you can proceed to normal summon. So what I usually do is I will usually Catapult, blow up my Gear Town, special summon a Wyvern off of Gear Town, special summon an Ancient Gear Golem off of Catapult, and then I will add out a Ancient Gear card off of the Wyvern's effect. Could be Hound, so I could normal summon him. I could have an extra monster in hand, burn him for 600, fuse off, and go for Ancient Gear Giant. Next, Ancient Gear Fortress. This is a really nice card, purely for the fact of during the turn an Ancient Gear monster is normal special summoned, your opponent cannot target Ancient Gear monsters you control with card effects. and they can't be destroyed by my opponent's card effects that turn. And also, when it is destroyed, I get to special summon an Ancient Gear monster from my graveyard. The only problem with that is you can only special summon Ancient Gear monsters for that turn. Next, I'll be running the 1 Ancient Gear Castle. It gives my monsters a nice little, my Ancient Gear monsters a nice little 300 attack boost. And also, if you get 2 counters on it, you can tribute that off to normal summon a Ancient Gear monster. Then I'll be running 2 terraformings to search out my gear towns. I prefer to have 3 and 2 and then 2 and 1 for my terraforming field spell ratio. Purely for the fact of if I have my field spell and then sort of like I only have terraformings left, I don't really want to draw into them. Next I run 2 Twin Twisters. Just so that way I can get some more plays going by discarding certain cards to get my fortress effect to be able to go off. And then I play the 1 Soul Charge because I do mainly focus on the fusion aspect of this deck. So therefore it's going to be like very good. So I can just special summon 4 Ancient Gear monsters from my graveyard, including 1 Hound, fusion off, and then I get the big Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. Then I run 2 Polymerization to cap off the spells. Just as per usual, it's just the fusion off. As I said, I do try and focus more on the fusion aspect of the deck. For my traps, I run 1 Ancient Gear Reborn, just for the fact that sometimes you may open up with an empty, you may start your turn with an empty field, so it's always good to be able to special summon your Wyvern from your grave, and then you can do some searching there. Then I run 2 strikes and a warning for negation, basically, to stop my opponent from building up plays, because this deck can be slow at times. So that is the main deck. And then for the extra deck, I run 2 Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. He's really good. He's a 4/5 beta. He's unaffected by the opponent's. He's unaffected by summoning trap cards, and in the battle phase, your opponent cannot activate monster effects. So not even lightning can get over this guy. It's a great card. And then I have 2 Howitzer. He's great purely for the fact of his stats aren't great, but when he's special during your main phase, you can burn your opponent for 1,000. So what I usually do for a starting move is have Hound, normal summon Hound, burn them for 600, have Hound fused with a monster, with Ancient Gear monster in my hand, special summon Howitzer, burn them for 1,000. It's a great card for that. And also when he's special summoned, I can special summon an Ancient Gear monster from my deck, ignoring its summoning condition. So if Ancient Gear Golem is in my deck, I can then, when he gets destroyed, I can bring Ancient Gear Golem back. So that is the fusion aspect of the deck. Then I have my rank 7s. So I have Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, just to kind of make my opponent think, which card do I really need to be activating here. And then I have Draco Sack, which is always a great card. You special summon 2, you detach 1 off him, special summon 2 tokens, he can't be destroyed as long as there's a token on field. And then you have the 1 Big Eye, for the fact of it's just a fun little card of, say they've got a Trident, they've already activated the Trident this turn, you can detach off Big Eye, have that Trident, and then use his effect for you. Then I run Utopia and the Lightning. This is just a great card because I do go into a lot of rank 4s in this deck occasionally, and it just gets over many problem cards, and also does a big deal of damage there. Next I run Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, just in case I've already used my Utopia the Lightning's effect, and it's just there's a big high attack monster, so then I half its attack and gain it there. I also have my searching of the extra deck with Gear Gigant X to add 1 level 4 or lower of machine type. So what I usually do is I'll add out Wyvern just for next turn. Then a staple for any rank 4 machine deck, Heavy Armoured Train Iron Wolf. Purely for the fact that you can get you can have one of your Ancient Gears attack your opponent directly, or you can just have him attack directly if he's the only one on the field, and do them a nice bit of damage there. Then I have a 101 Silent Honor Arc, and then, so basically just so there's a problem monster, take control of it, and I usually summon him in defense mode when I do summon him, for the fact of once per turn he can't be destroyed, well, I can detach and stop him being destroyed. Then I have a Giant Hand for the monster negation, so if there is a monster that is being a problem with its effect, like an Infinity or something like that, I'll usually bait it out with something, and then have Giant Hand negate it, so then it goes back to 2100, and in the Ancient Gear deck, it's not hard to beat a 2100 card. Then I have a Castell, again, just to get rid of your opponent's problem cards, or even if it's like, say, a Crystal Wing, I've used the monster effect, I can then use Castell to set it, and then if they're playing the Wind Witch, then they lose the whole cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, so then I could just Raigeki it. Then I've got Gaga Cowboy, just for the simple fact of I can burn you for 800. So if I have Gaga Cowboy on the field with an Xyz material, I could then normal summon Hound. Hound will then burn for 600. Then I will then be able to fusion summon with a monster in my hand. Special summon Howitzer, burn for 1000. So that equates to about 2400 damage, roughly. So yeah, that is the extra deck, and that is the profile. So don't forget, guys, to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about this deck. I personally prefer over the Dinosaur deck, so we will be having that profile for you soon. I believe it might be McScrub doing that one for you. So yeah, I will then catch you guys in the next video. I will catch you then.